Hello dear students, myself Dr. Sachin Gurule, Assistant Professor from Department of Zoology, KTHM College, Nasik. In the previous video of subject Animal Diversity, third belongs to chapter 5, that is a study of Scalodon. We have learned the male urinogenital system, and in this video we are going to learn the female urinogenital system in case of the Scalodon. So let's see. So as we learned that in the previous lecture, the excretory system and reproductive system in case of the Scalodon, they are having a much connection with one another, and hence the two systems they are always studied in a composite way and under the heading urinogenital system. And we have learned the already male urinogenital system. And in this lecture, we are going to learn the female urinogenital system in case of the Scalodon. Now, unlike the males, the kidney of female is also divided into the two parts, that is anterior non-excretory part and the posterior excretory part of the kidney. So anterior part of the kidney here also does not having the function of the excretion. But there is a difference between the male and female urinogenital system, being the anterior part of the kidney in case of male has much communication with that of the genital system, and the part known as the vasa efferentia and the vasa differentia, these are lodged into the anterior part of the kidney, whereas the anterior part of the kidney in case of the female does not having that communication with the female reproductive system. So that is only the difference between the male and the female reproductive or urinogenital system. So again, the female urinogenital system is also consist of the two part, excretory part and the reproductive part. So let's see first of all the excretory part. In female, there is no connection between the kidneys and the genital organs. Now this is the main difference between the male and the female urinogenital system. Therefore, the anterior part of the kidney is extremely reduced. So here you can see in the diagram. So this is the kidney which divided into the two part. This one is the anterior part and the posterior part. If you see the kidneys of the male, the anterior portion is much elongated or much evolved and has a communication with the male genital system, but due to the not having the connection with the genital system for the anterior part, in case of female, the anterior non-excretory part of the kidney is much reduced. So from the posterior functional part, the uriniferous tubules, they are open into the long thin-walled Wolffian duct, and the Wolffian duct are called as here the ureter. So again the posterior part is a functional part for the excretory system in case of female. It contains a number of uriniferous tubule or the nephron. These uriniferous tubule or the nephron, which are the structural and functional unit of the kidney, which is responsible for elimination of the nitrogenous waste material. Again, it is also consist of the double-walled the Bowman's capsule enclosing a glomerulus which containing the network of the blood capillaries, and through that Bowman's capsule process of ultrafiltration take place so that the nitrogenous waste material can be removed from the blood. But here again the urea is also get absorbed at some extent into the by this tubular part of the uriniferous tubule, and the collecting ducts finally opens into the ureter, and that ureter or the Wolffian duct is finally having the communication with that of the urinary sinuses, which is located near to the cloaca. The ureter unites posteriorly and opens into the single urinary aperture into the urinary sinus, and this urinary sinus is opens directly into the cloaca. So this is only the excretory part. So as compared with the male, the excretory part is the simple in case of the female. Then the reproductive part. The female reproductive part consists of obviously the ovarioles and the oviduct. The ovaries, a pair of ovaries is kept in position by again peritoneal fold. Now this peritoneal fold is referred as a mesovarium. This mesovarium is responsible for keeping the position of the ovaries, and that mesovarium is responsible for attachment of that ovaries with that of the dorsal body wall. The ovaries are lobulated and are located mid-dorsally. The shape, size and color of ovaries vary greatly according to the age of individual. Means in the different age, the ovaries has a different shape, size as well as color. And the pair of epigonal organ, here you can see the epigonal organ is present between the ovary and the rectal gland. So this is a rectal gland and these are the ovary. In between this ovary and the rectal gland, there is an organ which is known as the epigonal organ is always present. So this is about the ovaries, and second one is the oviduct. So here you can see the whole structure is forming the oviduct. The oviduct or the Mullerian ducts are very long tubule that extend from the septum transversum to the end of the coelom. So it starts from the here, actually this is the oviduct, and it ends near to the common vagina, which is very has the communication with that of the cloacal aperture. Now each oviduct is a long thin walled muscular tube. So this is a muscular tube, and obviously you can see in the diagram it is somewhat longer in the size. The anteriorly oviduct opens into the coelom by a longitudinal slit like opening which is known as oviducal funnel. So this is the oviducal funnel which is located at the anterior most portion of the oviduct. A short distance from the anterior part of each oviduct, there lies a dilated shale gland. So here you can see at the somewhat below the anterior region, this is lies a shale gland. This shale gland is also referred as the oviducal gland. Now the eggs, they are fertilized in the region between the oviducal funnel and the shale gland. Means whatever ovum or the eggs are released by the ovary, which comes into that oviducal funnel, and they follows the path like this. Just you can follow the arrow, and in the middle region in between this oviducal funnel and this shale gland, so this is the site of fertilization of the egg, where the eggs are get fertilized. Now later the fertilized egg, they are enter into the shale gland here, where a thin membrane is secreted over them. So keep remember, after fertilization only, that fertilized egg comes into the shale gland, and this shale gland pours a membrane for the purpose of protection on the fertilized egg. The posterior portion of the oviduct, it becomes a dilated. So here you can see the much difference between the diameter of the oviduct of the anterior side to that of the posterior side. So this dilated oviduct into the posterior region give rise to the formation of the uterus. For this uterus is useful for development of the young ones, as the shark is a viviparous animal. So development of their young ones is happens within a body of female inside the uterus. So this uterus is the dilated posterior portion of the oviduct. The posteriorly two uteri, means from right side and the left side, these uterus are united to form a common chamber. This common chamber is referred as vagina, and this vagina finally opens into the cloaca. So in this way, the second part of the reproductive is a oviduct. Anterior most portion is membranous, known as a oviducal funnel. Then it runs at the posterior way, and after some distance there is a shell gland, and the area between this oviducal funnel and shell gland is a site of fertilization. Also after fertilization, the fertilized egg provided with a membrane into the shell gland, and then it comes into the dilated portion of the oviduct which is known as a uterus, and here the implantation is occurs and the development of the young one is take place into the uterus. The number of embryos present inside one uterus varies greatly in different species of the Scalidon. So number is different into the different species. But in case of the Scalidon sirocco, about 7 embryos has been observed into the uterus. The mucous membrane of the uterus becomes divided into the number of chamber for the development of the embryo. So here the uterus is provided with some mucous membrane, and this mucous membrane is responsible for dividing the cavity of the uterus into the number of chamber, and that chamber are utilized to keep the embryo for their development. The number of chamber varies directly with the number of embryos. So number of chambers which are formed by this mucous membrane within a cavity of uterus is dependent on how many embryos are present inside the uterus, being they are in the process of development. And the eggs are large and are heavily provided with a yolk. So each egg gets a coating of the albumin during its transit down that of the oviduct, particularly here, and that is done by actually the shell gland. So this is about the reproductive part of the female. So with this we have learned the female urinogenital system. Then the last topic from this chapter, that is yolk sac placenta. As we have already discussed, the Scalidon directly give rise to the birth to their young ones instead of laying the eggs. So whatever development of the young one is there, that development occurs within a body of female inside the uterus. And for the nourishment, in the first period of the development, embryos they are provided with a yolk material, and once the yolk is utilized, that yolk sac is converted into the placenta, which is referred as a yolk sac placenta, which provides the nourishment to the developing embryo. That is referred as a yolk sac placenta. So let's see yolk sac placenta. Now after the fertilization, the development of the embryo takes place within a uterus of the female. 3 to 7 embryos develop inside each uterus, and that is in case of the Scalidon sirocco. The developing embryo is provided with a tubular yolk stalk, and this yolk stalk connects the intestine of the embryo with that of the yolk sac. Yolk sac containing a yolk material which is provides nutrition for the developing embryo. But when this yolk sac containing a yolk, that yolk when it is fully utilized, the yolk sac becomes a folded one and attached to the uterine wall of the mother as the yolk sac placenta. So first of all, this intestine is directly connected with the yolk sac containing a yolk, and in proximal days, whatever yolk which is present into the sac, that yolk sac is responsible for providing the nourishment to the developing embryo. But once the yolk is exhausted into the, or is fully utilized into the that yolk sac, then after this yolk sac is becomes a folded, and then it is attached to the inner wall of the uterus, and it is converted into the structure we call as a placenta. As the yolk sac is converted into the placenta, hence it is referred as a yolk sac placenta. Now with the formation of the placenta, yolk stalk is lost and blood vessels of the yolk stalk forms the placental cords. So the placental cords are get formed. The placental cords connects the embryo with the yolk sac placenta, and placental cord develop many finger-like processes, and these many finger-like processes are referred as the appendicular. So here you can see this is a Yolk sac which is connected with the intestine of the embryo, and these are provided with a many finger-like projection, and these finger-like projection are referred as the appendicula. Now each appendicularium is made up of a central core of loose connective tissue, and this loose connective tissue surrounded by several layers of the epithelial cells also. The distribution of the appendicula into the placental cord varies in the different regions, and this appendicularia helps in the process of absorption of nutrients which are secreted from the uterine wall of the mother itself. So when embryos are get fully developed, the mother give birth to the young ones, and hence the scholidon shows a process which is known as the viviparity. Viviparity in the sense they are directly giving the birth to the fully developed young ones. So this is about the Yolk sac placenta and the female urinogenital system. So with this we have completed the whole chapter number 5, that is study of scholidon. Thank you very much.